1 p.m. case, Gary Parker, JFO Inc., trading as O'Donnell's Pub, 531 South Potomac Street, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Application to add outdoor table service. Everybody testifying, please step forward and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Parker.
No, I'm John O'Donnell, owner.
Oh, you are John O'Donnell. Okay, nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
All right, ma'am, what's your name?
My name is Kimberly Carrick, C-A-R-R-I-C-K.
All right, and where is Mr. Gary Parker today?
He's working.
He's working,
Yes.
okay. And he has given you authority to come down here on his
Yes.
behalf
Yes.
to speak with us
Yes.
regarding your request for for outdoor tables.
Yes, I called actually the liquor board because he has a day job, and I spoke with Inspector Estes, and he said it was okay as long
Certainly.
as it represented.
And as long as you are telling us under oath here that he sent you down here, we're
Yes.
okay with it. All right, you are asking for outdoor table service at your location.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to speak to members of the community?
I actually have an agreement with the Hampstead Hill Neighborhood Association, which is where we belong.
Yep.
We don't belong to Canton because we're not in their
Right.
boundaries.
Right, I live in Canton, not too far from there, and you're definitely in the Hampstead Hill neighborhood. All right, HHA, the Hampstead Hill Association, entered into an agreement with O'Donnell's Pub. The terms indicate, looks like there's a pretty comprehensive agreement regarding arbitration, etc. We're going to focus on the outdoor table service specific provisions. You've agreed, and we're going to mark and receive this document as the licensee's first exhibit. You've agreed with Hampstead Hill Association that restaurant with outdoor seating on the sidewalk bordering only on Fleet Street.
Correct.
That is, outdoor tables will only be on Fleet.
Correct.
They won't be on Potomac.
Correct.
Okay. You've also agreed no chairs and tables to be used on Potomac. And you have agreed that outdoor seating is for the consumption of food, with or without the consumption of alcohol and tobacco products. It is not for the consumption of alcohol.
Well, if they're drinking with their meal.
Right.
Yes.
But you specifically, you're agreeing
Right.
to decline to serve customers who wish to consume only alcohol outdoors.
Correct.
Okay. And you agree not to install outdoor speakers of any kind.
Right.
And you agree that outdoor table service will end no later than 11 p.m. and chairs and tables to be put away at that time.
Correct.
All right. Further, you agree that you'll continue to observe noise levels in the event that the windows are open during your operating hours.
Right.
Further, you will agree to contact one or more of the officers of the Hampstead Hill Association if any issues arise.
Correct.
All right. Now, it's your intention that the terms of this agreement be converted into voluntary license restrictions, restriction on your license.
Correct.
Okay. And you've had a chance to review this document and had any
Yes.
questions answered that you may have had?
Yes.
And that you've had the right to have a lawyer look at this document,
Right.
and you're satisfied with that? Okay. Licensees 1 is received, and Ms. Mr. O'Donnell, anything you'd like to add?
No, that's about it. She's pretty much summed it up.
All right. Any questions?
One thing I do have to say is zoning did approve us to have tables out front, but I don't really plan on doing that just in case there was ever a need to put it out there. That's the only
When you
reason.
say out front, you mean Potomac?
Potomac, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, what you're doing here today with the voluntary license restriction is you're agreeing not to put
Okay,
it
that's fine.
out on Potomac. So what you need to do, if you already had that permission from zoning,
Yes.
and then you decided you wanted to do that, obviously the first step would be to contact Hampstead Hill
Okay.
to obtain that permission. And quite
Okay.
frankly, if your tables are working out on Fleet Street.
Yeah, I
there
don't
shouldn't be
see
an
a
issue.
need for Potomac Street.
Right. Okay, and I understand you started serving food there?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have a kitchen, doing very well. I feel a public need for the outdoor table because we're filling up now, and I think when it's nicer out, then they'll get the overflow outside with eating, and because we're really doing well with the kitchen, which really
Right.
makes me happy.
No, I did hear from John Bates, the licensee
Right.
across the street. He and Chris did, and they indicated that you were starting
Right,
restaurant
yeah.
service.
We
That's
started in December.
Wonderful. All right, any
I have
questions?
a question. How many tables do you plan to put on the Fleet side of the property?
We're approved for 6 tables. We're going to start with 4. We have a huge sidewalk. It's
How many seats per table?
4.
4?
Yes.
6, 4 per 6.
I mean, they would fit with no problem, but we're only going to start with 4. But we were approved for 6.
Is there a residential property adjacent to where you are, or behind the side of you?
Yes, and actually, I meant to bring it, but I gave it to the zoning, and I was going to go get a copy of it. I had 100 signatures. People behind us, people next door to us, people across the street from us, on all angles. I mean, you know, I could get that for you if you need it, but, you know, I got most of the people who it would directly, you know, interfere with their everyday life, which they have no problems. The one woman who, Miss Eileen, who's right behind us, next to her, they have a baby, and she said never once has her baby been woken up by people outside talking and smoking and doing whatever. We're a pretty quiet bar. We're not, there's no trouble, there's no fighting. It's basically neighborhood, walk to it, you know, like John's Bar, neighborhood people just walk to it.
Good. But if there is a complaint, is there an avenue for resolving it?
Actually, a lot of the neighbors have, both Mr. O'Donnell's and myself have our phone numbers, our cell phones. So if something would happen, they could call us anytime.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and go off the record. We'll go to our decision phase. April 4th, 2013, Gary Parker, JFO Incorporated, trading as O'Donnell's Pub, 531 South Potomac Street. This is an application to add outdoor tables to a BD7 license, advertised and posted. Agreement was reached between the licensee, Mr. Parker, and the Hampstead Hill Association. That document was brought to us today. It's received as the licensee's first exhibit. It contains numerous conditions that the licensee's been agreed to be bound on a voluntary license restriction. The board finds under Article 2B, Section 10202A, a public need and desire for your request, a de minimis impact on existing licensees, potential uniqueness of services and products to be offered by your business, de minimis impact on health, safety, and welfare, including crime, traffic, parking, and convenience. So we'll go ahead and approve your outdoor tables subject to the approval from zoning and, of course, subject to the conditions of the agreement between HHA and the licensee, which we now call licensees 1. All right?
Great, thank you.
Good
We
luck
were
to
already
you.
approved by zoning, so.
Right.
now
So
we
just subject to those terms, as
Okay.
in what we mentioned, the tables.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Thank you. We're off the record.